So Joel Klatt, who covers college football.
Are we getting into silly talk now?
No,
Is it time for silly talk?
I'm using the silly talk to get us into a serious conversation because I don't necessarily engage with these things. I'm just pointing it out for what it is. Consider this a PSA.
Okay.
All right?
Sure.
It's not silly talk. It's a PSA. So Joel Klatt, who covers college football for Fox Sports, he's part of the Big Noon Saturday, all that stuff for Fox Sports, Big Ten, tweeted this out, late yesterday. Does anyone think that Clemson could actually win either division in the SEC or Big Ten East?
The one with Michigan and Ohio State.
Okay. Do you think they could finish better than third in the SEC East or the Big Ten East? I don't either! Exclamation point. Based on what? Like, show your work.
Okay.
Because this is, you get on...
Finish third. So he's saying they're worse than Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then he's saying the SEC East, so Tennessee, Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they played Georgia last year. They gave Georgia a better game than anyone other than Alabama last year in a year where they were awful on offense.
To me, this comes back down to oftentimes a criticism that I'll receive.
Okay.
And you've pointed this out about me, is that I'm on vibes. Okay. Well,
he doesn't like sports. Yeah. That's the main one.
That's the main one.
Yeah.
What is college football if nothing but vibes?
Especially this time of the year.
All conversations around college football are based on vibes. You say, I feel that this team is better than this team, and you can just leave it hanging there with no homework shown, and people go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what, again, I'm just using Joel Klatt as an example of this. So I need somebody to explain to me what Clemson needs to do to prove something to you. All right?
They need to do what they normally do, and this brings us back to my point from last week.
Yeah.
Normally, now keep in mind, Clemson made the playoff 6 years in a row.
Yes.
Alabama didn't do that.
No.
Ohio State didn't do that. Oklahoma didn't do that. Clemson and Clemson alone made the playoff 6 years in a row. All right? Won the national title twice in that span, including a win over Alabama. Okay? Here's the thing. In all of those years, they went out and they played they did the secret password is sesame because you have to play that SEC team in September. And in those 6 years, they played the SEC team in September. They beat them, and then that established the talking point for the rest of the season.
Yes.
Look at Clemson. Oh, well, they can't beat Texas A&M. Oh, no, actually, they can.
They can.
Oh, they can.
A lot of teams can, actually.
They can't beat Auburn at Auburn. No, they did when Auburn was running hot.
Of course, a lot of teams can beat Auburn.
No, when they're running hot.
I know what you mean.
Oh, they can't beat Georgia. Oh, no, they can. They beat them in a Chick-fil-A Classic, too. So they can do those things, too. So the real talking point for Clemson this year is they're playing other ACC teams, and next week, it's Notre Dame. And Notre Dame just ain't it this year.
Okay.
So
we've established that.
Here we are.
At what point? Here's the crux of my issue right now is: at what point will people accept that the ACC? Wait for it. Shh. Everybody sitting down. What if I told you that the ACC might be good? Because everything is based on the assumption that the ACC bad. ACC's not good. ACC bad. Clemson just beat 4 ranked teams in the last 6 weeks, right? They beat a ranked Syracuse squad yesterday.
Yes.
Or on Saturday. What did they do before that?
It was FSU State, Syracuse, Wake. Yeah.
All ranked.
Wake's in the top 10 now. Yeah.
Yes. All ranked. But we just assume, well, it's Wake Forest. Are they really that good of a team?
Well...
Like I heard,
we hate the transitive property too because you could say, "Oh, Florida State's not that good." Florida State opened the year with a win over LSU, who everyone's in love with right now.
So I heard Gold today. I was driving and I'm hearing Gold today, and he's had the audacity to say, "Is Syracuse really the 15th best team in the country?" Well, what else are we supposed to do? You're supposed to rank the teams.
Trust me when I tell you it's really hard to find. After the top 10, it's really hard to find.
But you can rank anybody there. Why'd you rank Syracuse there then?
I didn't, but I know.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Okay. The rest of the world did, yeah.
Okay, so they're ranked. That's who their schedule is. And you base these things year to year. So if they continue to pile up wins against ranked teams in their own conference, What more do you want?
Their own conference.
That's the problem.
You go.
That's the problem because ACC bad. We just assume ACC bad.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: You're
They're
the
not-
voter.
They're not bad. They're not elite.
Is Michigan elite?
I do not think so.
So why do we assume Michigan's elite?
Because of their coach, because of their history. By the way, they haven't won a national championship.
You just
in like
pointed
a
out
brick.
that Dabo did something that none of these other jabronis have done.
I know.
So Dabo's not elite.
Trust me.
Okay, so but you see where it's maddening to me.
Right.
No, Michigan good. Michigan Penn State good.
Right.
Based on what?
Here's the thing though.
What?
I'm still slightly mad at you because you told me to put logic aside in the preseason.
Yes.
Because you're way too logical. You're being way too logical right
Well,
now.
we're at the logical part of the season.
I know, but you're being
Same
way,
with Alabama.
You're
Same with
being way too logical right now.
Alabama basically just gets the pass when they've looked mortal all season. They've been flirting with disaster all season, dude.
I am definitely guilty of that.
All season Alabama's been flirting with disaster, and they finally got them.
It's kind of like, who do you
against
trust?
Tennessee,
right?
But nobody trusts Clemson. Why doesn't anybody trust Clemson?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I don't know.
Because you look at Clemson's defense, and again, go back to last year when they played Georgia, when Clemson was not good. Go back to Clemson's worst year under Dabo, 6-2, 10-3. Okay,
yeah,
they played a rock fight with Georgia in the opener in Charlotte.
Yeah,
and they gave up a pick six was the difference in the game.
So
that's how they lost. Georgia played everyone else and absolutely obliterated everyone they played, including everyone in the SEC not named Alabama.
College football,
and they hammered Alabama in the final. By the way,
college football is amazing to me because essentially the arguments all boil down to because I said so. That's all it is. Effectively, every argument boils down to because I said so. We'll see this in a couple weeks.
I just had this with an NC State fan. It's like, why don't you have NC State in the top 25? I go, it's really this simple.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone wants there to be this magic formula.
Mm-hmm.
When you rank teams, there has to be a Ken Palm has spoiled us all. There has to be a number.
Yeah, what's the number?
What's their Ken Palm? What's their adjusted offense?
Give me the S&P plus.
It's like, hey guys, here's I'm just gonna lay it all on the table for you, and I have to do it for you too here. It's an opinion poll that our friend Aaron Beard has asked me to participate in, and what it comes down to is, hey Joe, do you think Clemson is better than Michigan? And I said yes.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, do you think NC State's one of the best 25 teams in the country? I said no. So
because I said so,
and ultimately. Now, you could parse through this stuff, and I have up top.
Sure.
Road wins. I try to value wins on the road. I try to value wins over other teams that I consider to be good.
Man, the reason why I bring this up is because in a couple of weeks, or less than a week and a half, we're going to have the first college football playoff look-in.
And you and I both know, it's next Tuesday, you and I both know that committee, bless all of their hearts, they're not equipped to parse Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia if they all end up with one loss. They're not.
They're not.
And I keep seeing these bowl projections. They're all nice and oh my gosh, Wake Forest is going to be in the Orange Bowl. Isn't that going to be great? It's going to be Wake Forest, big chance. Guys, you really need to preparing yourself for the possibility of those 3 one-loss teams being standing there on Selection Sunday and being in the college football playoff.
The final thing I'll say about college football and the idea that most analysis comes down to because I said so and all the hypotheticals, I saw it this weekend as NC State fans with an open week. And just kind of watching college football and watching Syracuse almost top Clemson. Man, you got to play the perfect game against the Tigers if you ever have a chance. And Clemson didn't have the perfect game, or Syracuse didn't have the perfect game. And like all this PTSD was coming out, right?
You know where this is all leading to?
Where is this all leading to?
I'll give you the coda when you.
Okay.
You give me the shot, I'll give you the chaser.
So all this is happening, and I'm starting to see the repeated conversation about if only you see, you coastal elites, you see what we have to deal with all the time. Look at the consecutive home winning streak for Clemson. You never have to deal with that. Oh, to be in the coastal. That was the lament that I'm seeing pop up. And this conversation happens all the time. Got it. But there's one key thing. Actually, there's 2 key things, really, if you think about it, that make this conversation kind of moot. I will die on this hill when I argue that NC State's seasons under Dave Doran that ended up being good instead of great are not because of losses to Clemson. They ended up being good rather than great because they lost to Wake Forest. Again, let me repeat that. Wake Forest, a team that in a program, you have way more advantage in terms of program building than they do. Money, facilities, you name it. Reach, fan base, check all the boxes. You got more than Wake Forest. So explain to me why your seasons get torpedoed by the Demon Deacons. That's the problem. But there's another problem that y'all ain't thinking deep on. Giglio, please remind me what the law of the wolf is. You invented the law of the wolf.
I did. We could shorten it to just NC State can't have nice things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see NC State playing out this way in the Atlantic, can't have nice things. Why do you make the assumption that if NC State was to swap places with any coastal team, that if they existed in the coastal, that they would have had their opportunity to win a division like every other team in the coastal has had? In the existence of the coastal division, everybody's won the division once.
I was saying, in fairness, everyone's won it.
Everybody, right. But
and all like in sequential years, too, if it's a boot.
But who's not in that division?
The Wolves.
Okay, what's the law of the wolf again?
Can't have nice things.
Right, which gets to the multiverse level of the conversation. If NC State was in the coastal, you know what would happen, right?
Yes, I do.
Frank Beamer never goes out like a sucker. Shane Beamer elevates to ascend the throne like a Targaryen. And Virginia Tech just keeps on going. They're like Clemson. Like, they never drop off. All right? They just keep on going. They're great. Not mired in the muck that they're in right now. Miami's biggest problem is that NC State's not in their division. If NC State were in the division, the law of the wolf would dictate it that Butch Davis comes back and they're rolling again, baby. They got the state of Miami locked down with recruiting. And Dabo would have been fired by now. Dabo doesn't
never would have hired Chad Morris.
Never would have hired the disruptive hires that he needed. Dabo gets run out of town, and he goes to the Nick Saban, rehabilitation.
And he's Mississippi State's coach right now.
Right, he's Lane Kiffin at this point. Okay, you see where the law of the wolf applies?
It's an entertaining world to think about, actually.
Am I wrong?
I don't think you are.
And you know why I'm also not wrong? Because it's college football. Because I said so.